I think we should just jump into the portfolio you have. Um, the background you said made a lot of sense. Is there anything specific you want me to focus on, or shall I just jump in and just talk about what I see?
Well, to addition to what I said, in 2023, I received Canadian permanent residence in Toronto.
Yeah.
So, but I thought that my experience, working experience, back then I worked as a support specialist in some company, and I thought that I don't want to work anymore as a
Hmm.
support specialist, and I
Yeah.
want to switch to something like game dev or something similar just to work with 3D. So
Yeah.
starting from 2023, I put a lot of efforts into learning and knowing how to model stuff for games. So
Hmm.
basically, this is my direction from 2023.
Hmm.
So yeah, this
Yeah.
is just like
And um, what direction are you hoping to go into? Like both in the business side, so are you looking for like a job or more freelancing, but also from the artistic skill side?
Uh, to be honest, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Not because I'm not confident enough in my skills, but
Oh,
because of the industry, the state of the industry right now,
yeah.
and it's kind of difficult for me to define which way I want to go
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
for me, any way is available right now would work. But
Yeah.
I would love to work in games as a props artist or maybe 3D environment artist. I can work with weapon, stylized characters,
Oh, yeah.
vehicles. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I think we should just take a look at your portfolio. I mentioned in the text on LinkedIn that I try to make videos below 50 minutes because of the limit of LinkedIn. But to be very honest, I think we should throw that overboard because we're
Okay.
going to try to fit something into something that it's too short. So let's forget about the time. I am going to, by the way, share my screen so you also see what I'm talking about. And I
Okay.
already have it open here. You can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, I can
perfect.
see it.
Cool. Nice, actually. Quite impressed, to be honest. I
Thank you.
expected a a different direction, to be honest, especially what you told me about your past a little bit. So yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised. And so the way I always look at portfolios, what you might have seen already is that, of course, I look at the art itself, but I try to look at it from a how well would somebody be in a production environment, whereas I, with Meshmasters, come from a small team where we do production for clients. And because we're a smaller team, I look at portfolios more in a sense of, are you also a well-rounded professional? Whereas if you're aiming for like really big studios, it is way more common that you are hired for your specialty, and that might be vehicles, and then the only thing you really do is build vehicles, which is cool, of course. But on our side, we tackle a bit of a broader sense. Sometimes people need to do some designing or shift into different niches within the 3D. So from that sort of standpoint that I look at people's work, I'm already pleasantly surprised that you have different type of work, which sometimes can be a negative, but in your case, the work you do show is high quality. So that's like a plus plus already. I also, oh, I thought it was a, I also really like your banner because it's one of your better pieces and is everything 3D, including like the whole setup at the side?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that's just amazing to me. So that's that kind of tells me like, oh, cool, you do spend time in making something finished and look great, which not everybody tends to do. A lot of people tend to really focus on the modeling, the making the prop, and then they kind of forget the presentation around it. So that you do this cool presentation is really cool. The main question I do have about it is this game ready, assuming you want to go into games, or is this more, rendering, so very high poly?
It is low poly
Yeah,
considering modern times.
yeah, that's really cool actually. But yeah, let me just quickly. So this banner is really amazing. I like the thumbnails you have too. I do wonder, why is this two separate pieces? And this one also is really cool in the sense of it shows a unique style, but it's hard to read what it is exactly, so I'll have to click into it, which isn't bad. I'm just saying that from a, just be aware that thumbnails are maybe the most important facet of a portfolio. My first impression is also that the Gladiator might be your weakest work, but again, I'll have to click into it. And a question I have as well is, the work you show looks very cool, but it is a little bit on the minimal side, which makes sense with your background. But it does give me a sort of, how do I say that? It gives me a sort of insecurity of, if I would hire you, how well would you be in a production environment? And that's kind of hard to see from this already. But yeah, that said, let me take a quick look on the right side as well. So why do you have this as your avatar, by the way? This picture.
It's like an AI image from my photo generator.
Oh, right. Yeah, so even though an avatar image seems so important, I do consider it part of the impression you're giving, right? So this entire page is an impression you leave on people. And I don't know fully yet what your speciality is from this page itself, even though you said you're really going into props and maybe environments. I would really aim to make sure the avatar also fits with the rest of the work. Does that make sense?
Yes, it
Yeah,
does.
because currently your portfolio is, even though it's good quality, it is scattered, because you have like a weapon, you have a car, you have a character, and then you also have a 2D image. So it's kind of hard to see what are you good at and what would I hire you for. So that might be something you want to think about and push yourself, and so your brand and portfolio into, and then you can either apply that in the avatar as well, or make a really good photo of yourself, like a professional photo or one that looks very professional, and add it here to again help with selling your brand, that you are pro, that you are legit, that you're the professional. Does that make sense?
Yes.
This is also cool, but sometimes, because most people won't read this, right? So what you can think about is make this like a bullet point list of what you're good at. So you could say like, what's a good word here? Like expertise in, and then bullet point list of like environments, props, materials, like I don't know what it is, and then it's something people can scan. You know, like they look at it for like 0.2 seconds and they kind of already know, like, you're the environment guy, or you're the character guy, or you're the blender guy, or the sculpting guy. And then that gives people the chance, or you the chance, to convey that a bit better, because, you know, this, like, otherwise people won't read it. So it's like a little optimizing of that little bit of text you have here. So that could be an option you could do here, if that makes sense. Besides that, let's just click into each piece. Yeah, looks cool. That's really cool. I'm just quickly going to go down a bit. Yeah, cool breakdowns. So as I said already, you already show really good quality work. You spent time presenting it. You show good material use, or you apply that very well. The texturing is well done. Like the brass and the material and the lighting is very well done. So it's overall a really good piece. The animation is cool as well.
There's the second one below.
Oh, really? An animation?
Yes.
Am I? Oh, here. Oh, yeah. Nice. Yeah, this is also very cool. I would. So there's a couple of things I can say here. So these portfolio pages, right? So this is one of them. A good way to look at these type of pages, but any website in general, is it's a viewer's journey, right? So a person clicks into it and the first image they see is this one. And then the second and the third, and that's a journey people go through. And it's kind of like when you're just making social media content, right? It's kind of the same thing, where the first piece of text, for example, needs to hook somebody so they get intrigued, and that is here the same. So this image is really the hook, which is not a bad image. It's a cool choice. And then you have a second one that also intrigues more, and then you have the animation, which is a really good order. But you have more and more of the fully rendered pieces, and maybe you can combine, for example, this animation and the first one. Maybe that should just be one video. So it could be where you do this opening up, and directly after the opening up, you do that dissection part of it. And that way, the portfolio page, which is the piece page, it's a good one, but you're condensing it a little bit more to prevent people from not seeing everything. Because you know how people are, they kind of lose interest very quickly. And especially people that are hiring, if they have a job post out, they're gonna get like 20 portfolios a day. So yeah, you see what I'm saying? It's like, design that flow in your sub pages so it's very easy to see how good it is. Otherwise, I think it's a really cool piece. I like this. Might even be, I think this should maybe be your first image, to be very honest. Why did you add it all the way at the bottom?
I don't know. Actually, I did this render in the end of my project, and it was a good addition to all the renders. So yeah, that's why it's the last one.
Yeah, I really think this should be your first or second image, and maybe it could also be your thumbnail. Let me go back here. Oh yeah, you got that one. Because there's a lot going on, and it's very dynamic, right? So it intrigues people more. So this could be, maybe, I'm not sure. It could be.
And to be honest, I tried that, and I tried to frame it, the whole gun and the shells into one square frame, and it didn't work out.
Yeah.
But I never tried to kind of, cut this image into
Yeah,
Square.
yeah, I get it. It's a cool image though. I think this should be your first or second image. And then because currently you have that one, which is also really cool, which is here. I would still maybe, I don't know, I do think this might be the better thumbnail image still. Because the reason is many people obviously show like, here's a prop type of thing, but this image, which is still the prop, but it shows that you put in the extra effort with the shells, it's on a floor with good shadowing, so maybe you should still try to make this the thumbnail. At least it should be your first or second image. And then this would probably be your second image. And then followed by the rest. This is a good example of what I mean. It's pretty much the same image, right?
Yes.
So you can.
I wanted to show that.
Yeah,
There's
just remove one of them, you know, because like I said, people, you know, they get sort of bored quickly. So remove one of them. Combine that video into one as well would be cool. Also a cool image. So yeah, that's I think that's really cool. It's just a little bit of optimization with condensing it a bit, and definitely this one should be your first image, followed by this one or this one.
Okay.
Does that make sense so far?
Yes, it does.
Cool.
It really
And
does.
then the breakdowns or the wireframes are really cool as well. Yeah, I like how you did this. It just shows you understand optimization well, so that's really cool. Yeah, no, really cool piece. Like, man, congratulations, you know, it's really awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, that's I would optimize that a bit, and then otherwise really cool piece. If I can give one last little bit of feedback, is that the background, which is not necessarily bad, it isn't the black void that some people do, but it does the gun isn't really grounded often. It's just floating in the air. And for a shot like this, that's fine, but here it's the only one where you have it on a sort of floor. It just reads way more professional because everything is more grounded.
Don't hear you.
Yeah, so you can opt to, you know, for example, with this one, this is also not bad. But imagine it was kind of hanging on like a wall with the pins, you know. Not a lot of work, and it could still add a little bit of groundedness and finish the piece itself. Yeah, but yeah, really.
He was muted for like, I don't know, 5 seconds.
Say again?
You were muted for like 5 or 6 seconds.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So just like I said, here it's very grounded because you have the floor and the shadows. And you could opt to do that more in your other pieces because here it's kind of just floating into nothingness. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So does, especially with this one, for example, maybe the whole piece renders just better if it's like it's hanging on a wall and you see the pins where it's hanging. And then you still have some of the shadow, or I guess the shadow would be on this side, I guess. And it just makes it look a little more professional than a typical prop in a void environment. If that makes sense. But yeah, really cool piece. Anything you want to add to that?
No. You said it yourself, everything.
Yeah, cool. Let's go on to this one, which I also really liked. Let me just scroll down a little bit. Also a pretty cool prop. Now, I don't know how this car is in real life, but it does sometimes, I don't know, let me check the wireframe again, actually. Maybe it's on purpose, but sometimes this brake line feels a bit uneven or funky. You see, like, what's going on here? Like, what is this? Is sort of more defined than this one. But yeah, it could be that the car is like that in real life. But I would say that the gun actually does feel higher quality than this one. Also because it's a very sleek finished model, as if it's straight from the factory, which is not bad. But especially in gaming, we don't really see it that often. Like there's often still some play in, for example, the roughness map. Like everything is very clean, right? You see this reflection here, and maybe adding very little bit of like grunge in the roughness to break up very slightly that reflection, so it reads a little more, yeah, cinematic realism, if that makes sense. So that could be cool to just ground it a little more into, yeah, I wouldn't really say reality, but I'm not sure what word to otherwise use. And the reason why I say that is in the 3D world, it's very common to have that everything looks perfect. It's kind of like a pitfall in 3D in general, because, you know, the work we do is very like almost science, right? We're manipulating vertices and calculations. And things looking too perfect, kind of, it's almost like the uncanny valley, but then for props. It's like, it's too clean, it's too perfect. So you could maybe play around with that, either with this one or future pieces, where if you are aiming for perfection, still see if you can add a little bit of grittiness into maybe the roughness map or specular map, depending on what method you're using. You know, does that make sense? You often actually see it if you look at racing games and you look at the renders of cars. You'll, especially these days, the rendering style is often a bit more gritty. You know, it still looks clean like a factory vehicle, but the lighting is a bit more harsh and it's a bit more gritty. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, yes.
So that could be cool to, you know, either upgrade this a little bit or to, you know, for future work. Besides that, I really enjoy the presentation. What you could have done to really finish it is, for example, to just like make tape as if it was taped to the floor, you know? Also, this sort of waviness feels a bit quickly done, like mesh smoothing type of quick solution. And just to, you know, to kind of like finish it up, to really make the presentation cool. What I would also add, I don't think you did that, yeah, is add this, where's that one? The overview. The one you have on your banner. You don't have that one here, I think.
It's
This
another one.
Yeah, and just make a wireframe version of it and add it also to the portfolio piece to really show people like this is low poly optimized. But yeah, besides that, the wireframe, what I did notice is it looks sometimes a little low poly, especially this edge. You see that it's low poly. And then, for example, this curve, for what it's doing, is then maybe a little, has too much edges. So that could have been optimized a little bit better. So add a little bit more here and maybe remove a little bit here. What you did in the gun was just better. It just showed you understand optimization and the topology better than this one. But still, it's a really cool piece. I like this as well. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so, yeah, it's pretty cool. And you have this, which is awesome.
And about roughness, if you check the sides of the car, you can actually see a little bit like dust from the road.
Yeah, that's really cool actually.
But because of the studio lighting, it was wiped out.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, well, that's a good point because sometimes it means on the studio lighting rendered version, you just need to up it more. So that version just has stronger maps than the Sketchfab version. But yeah, cool piece. Yeah. Anything you want to add to this
No.
this piece? What you could also do to really, so when it comes to game, if you want to go into the game direction and industry, then it's very important that you also show that you know how to implement it in a game engine, and that it's ready for a game. So is it animatable? Are the wheels separate? Can it be rigged? And that could also be something you can show in the process and the breakdowns, that the doors can actually open, the wheels can rotate and move. You know, that element is also very important to show that you understand that. Especially if you have this, yeah, that would be really cool to show that this actually is a functional turning system. That would be really cool. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. I think you've probably saw that I often tell people show the process a lot, which I just talked about with show that it is game ready, or even make it playable in a game engine. And it's really cool that you have the wireframes, but the finishing touch would really be to show that it's a functional piece that is ready for rigging and interaction and driving around in a game. But yeah, otherwise really cool piece. Let's go to the next one. Oh yeah, the gladiator. So you have the sculpt and the finished piece. So why did you do two separates?
Well, I remember I watched a video about presenting your portfolio, and the idea was in the video that if your project is like takes a lot of shots to show, it's better to divide it into two. And I saw a lot of examples of people who divide their projects into scoped version and textured final version.
Yeah.
So I decided to do the same.
Yeah, it's not bad advice, especially if you don't have a lot to show yet. It's pretty cool. But especially if you're expanding your portfolio, at some point I would merge it and consider it just a single piece you did. But yeah, it's not bad advice. But yeah, let's look at the piece itself. Very stylized. Is it hand painted by any chance?
Yes, most of them.
Oh, cool. In which tool?
Substance Painter.
Oh yeah, nice. Yeah, pretty cool. Also cool that you do the wireframes again. Like I said, breakdowns are quite important. It does seem very high poly for what it is. I am missing a wireframe of the model itself, so it's kind of hard to judge. I think we can see that in here though.
Yeah.
Can we?
You can check that.
Yeah, here. Oh. Somewhere here, right? Wireframe.
Down on the list.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's not bad
the
actually. It does look, I would say the edges in that sense are good, but in the vertical do seem a bit overkill.
Okay.
Same with maybe the feet in the legs, but everything else looks pretty legit. Pretty cool. Nice character though. I mean, in the end, it's also, for example, you have these edges here. Are they needed?
Probably.
You know,
No.
so you could remove these. You'll need these, of course, for this curve here, but yeah, these can be removed, I would say. So yeah, some optimization can be done. The same with the helmet. So these two, I don't think they're needed because in the end it's you know, flat. So I think these can also be removed. So some wireframe optimization can be done here, but otherwise, yeah, it's a cool piece. I like that it's a stylized piece, so that's really cool. I like that you do this as well. Nice way to present it. What I sometimes do in our videos is where you have like a video like this, and then sometimes the shot, like, how do you say that? It shifts into the wireframe mode. So it's kind of like a layer rolls over it, and then you see the wireframe, and that could be like the finishing touch to videos like this. But yeah, really cool piece. Just to come back to the overall structure, cool first image. These are the same, I think.
It's a different weapon set.
Oh, yeah, right. That is... Oh, yeah. I would probably make that a little bit more clear and maybe remove this one and just keep this one, because here you have the different weapon and you remove the helmet. So that's a little bit more clear. And then this video would be the same thing. Maybe you have it down here. What is... Oh yeah, so maybe this video is then also without the helmet. To again make it a bit more compact while you're still showing the best parts of the model. But yeah, cool piece. You could, for the next time, also think about, because it's sort of floating into the void again, and I do like that you do your backgrounds with a gradient, but imagine it's just sitting on a floor and there's a little bit of shadow, you know? Just to really finish it off. That could be really cool. But yeah, we're really talking about nuances here. Overall cool piece. So let's move on to the next one. Oh yeah, this one, of course, totally forgot already. Kind of the same feedback, I would say. Oh yeah, nice. Yeah, the same feedback applies. What you could also choose to do is the first image is just the single character with the best camera angle you have, which probably might be more from this side. And then the second shot is this image. So then the first shot is really that key art hero shot of the asset and the character. Because this feels a little bit more, you're almost already shifting into breakdown mode within this page. Yeah, so I think this could be, I don't know, this somewhere here could be the key shot, you know, the hero shot. So this would be the first one, and then this is the second one. So again, that journey like I told you about. Yeah, cool stuff. Nice. Okay, let's go to the last one. Oh yeah, this one seems really cool. Video, let's check it out. That's a cool breakdown video. Yeah, that's amazing, right? Oh, yeah, so really cool. I like the style. So the pros about something like this is you're showing that you're doing something unique. You're playing around with different styles, which I think is very powerful because it shows you're willing to do unique art styles instead of just copy all the current workflows out there. So it's very common now to see ArtStation is full with the typical high to low poly or the hand painted, and 3D artists in general are not really good at the designing and art style and art direction standpoint. So showing that you're exploring that is really cool and very powerful. But it's a little bit too short. I am kind of missing the journey, the breakdown, the creative journey. How did you get to this? Were you using any references? How did you do the yeah, I don't know what you call this, this sort of pixelated pop art type of effect? How did you actually do that and make that? Is this in engine or not, or is it like a render in Blender? So explaining that part of this would, yeah, I think that's kind of needed for people to understand how this fits into the role you want to do at a job. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because if I'm like hiring somebody to do a vehicle art, is this actually going to apply to doing that for game engines, for example? But yeah, really cool piece. So this one can be expanded a bit more, but yeah, I really like it. Is there anything you want to add to this one as well?
I don't know. It was made as a part of a challenge
Oh,
from
nice.
Punisher, if you know this
Yeah,
channel. Yeah. So yeah, I tried to participate, but I didn't make it to 100 renders. So
right.
yeah.
That could be, if it's like a challenge, it could be cool to show that more where you use the logos of a challenge. You know, it's cool to maybe like say, this is part of challenge polycount, whatever. Just to kind of show that it was part of that. And then through that challenge, you can kind of show the journey you went through. So that could be really cool to show as well.
And actually, thumbnail has that logo and list engines. I mean, thumbnail of the video.
Oh, on the video? Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's, yeah, that's not going to show here, obviously.
If
But,
you update the page, probably it will.
oh, yeah. Ah,
Yeah.
right. This top thing. Yeah. Yeah, it's not bad. But yeah, I think you get the feedback. It's kind of, I also see it's not finished, obviously, to the top. Oh no, that you didn't make it to the top 100, but it's a really cool piece, but I think you need to expand on it to really apply it better to what this offers a studio, for example. So yeah, coming back to this page, like I said in the beginning, you have some really cool work, but I don't really know what you're good at, what you're specializing in, what I would hire you for. Like, are you the vehicle guy, the character guy, the prop guy? In the beginning, you mentioned you want to step into environments and building your brand and portfolio in that direction so people understand that immediately, I think is very important. So yeah, I think it's good for you to think about that and start building in that direction. Yeah, and I think it's also start. So like I said, the work you have is really good, but just finish it off with the feedback I gave you to really push this brand and impression you have on your portfolio more into the I'm the professional sphere, if that makes sense. So the thumbnailing can be a little bit better. The breakdowns are just missing a little bit of pieces. And in the end, every piece needs to scream, and every thumbnail, you are the creative professional, you are the professional 3D artist. And I think you can just, by by tweaking a little bit and adding a little bit more, you're going to push yourself into that domain. So yeah, how does that, I don't know, does that help you? Do you have any questions? I'm obviously just rambling on here, so maybe you have some feedback too.
No, actually, and to be honest, when I was sending you my portfolio, I was thinking about the same thing, that probably Robert will say that I don't know who you are really, because you have so different pieces in your portfolio, and even though they high quality, but what is your real main domain? So yeah, I fully agree with you about my scatterness of my
Yeah,
my
yeah,
pieces.
yeah. But yeah, that's something cool to work on. So, but yeah, I'm so far really impressed. I would say this one especially is the best one. Really cool. Yeah. So good work. And this is the best shot. I like this one. Nice. I'm gonna switch back to here. Stop the, yeah. So I hope that helps. Do you also practically know what to do with all this feedback?
Sure. So I probably change some order in the current vendors and maybe change others as well, as you said. Yeah. And I also have a question. Do you think it is possible for me, like, do you have a chance to like break into the industry right now, or should I work like I don't know, 6 months, a year more in this direction?
Well, like you know, the industry is very tough right now, which is a big limiting factor. So looking at your portfolio, I would definitely say you're on a really good path, talented and or learned a lot. So like I said, the way you present everything, it's like you're really going in a good path. But is it already at a level where you're gonna get a job or do freelancing? I don't think so yet. You're very close, but you're just not there yet. But you're close, though. It's kind of annoying that the industry is a pain in the ass right now, which is going to make it even more difficult. Even for us at Mesh Masters, it's been pretty difficult this year and last year as well. So those two combined really means it is very tough. So depending on your situation, my advice would be like always start applying already. Like show your face to the world. That's just a given, of course. But realistically, I think you do need to give yourself a couple of more months, maybe a half a year to really upgrade that portfolio. And that, yeah, it depends how long that's going to take. But I think you really do need to shift your portfolio into that specialization. And since you have a lot of cool work in different areas, it's a bit of a like, what do you do here exactly? And you mentioned in the beginning you wanted to do props and maybe environments, but the issue with props is that everybody's doing props. It's like the highest competitive skill out there. So I would recommend to specialize in something like environments or characters, or maybe particle effects, for example, where that there is a higher need for that because it's more difficult, right? With environments, you really need to understand the storytelling, the designing, for example. With characters as well, it's just more difficult than props. But that also means you need more time to shift your portfolio in that direction. So yeah, I do think you need a little bit more time to really flesh it out. But if it were me, step one would be apply all this advice. Like that, I call it the brand, right? So you know what a brand is?
Yes.
Like the impression you leave. So that needs to really be next level. And I think that's the quickest win you have. So do that first. The quick win, make the brand awesome, the thumbnails awesome. A good tip, by the way, when it comes to thumbnails, if you add like a logo to it, it just reads more cool and professional. So even in your case, where it's none of this is client work, I think, but imagine with the gun, maybe it's like a typical, a regular real world gun, so it has a name, and then just design a cool little typeface, so like a mini logo of the gun, and just add it to the thumbnail, so it just all reads more finished, more professional. Same with the gladiator. Make a cool like gladiator piece of text with a cool font, design, and color, and then that is already going to up that that impression, that brand. If you go to Mesh Masters, you'll see we do that with everything, including some of the work we did was just in-house practice work, and we still add a little sort of logo-y thing there, and it just reads more cool and professional. So that's going to be step one. Step two, just start hammering, applying. That's just a no-brainer. And then, like I said, start shifting your portfolio and specialty into a direction. But that is a bit more of a commitment.
Yeah. And what next project for me would be like if you or me, like what would you do? Like what piece is it perfect for me right now?
I think that has a lot to do with what you want to do and what your passion is.
Well, to be honest, I liked all of those projects that I did, so I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think it's like I would niche down a bit more, like I said. And like I said, I think that's a choice of passion and what you like to do. I will say though, keep them small enough so they don't take half a year to do. Like that gun you have, the shotgun, that's a perfect scale of a project. With environments, it's very easy to go like crazy overboard. So that is definitely good. If you do want to step more into props and environments, then I would recommend to do more environments. And then if you do the environments, do like mini environments. So instead of having like a street as an example, just choose like a corner of the street, like the front door of a house, like mini, like it's like a photo, like a mini part of the street. And then you can go all in on that. It looks great and it is presented well and professionally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope it's sort of useful. It's not really the answer you were looking for, maybe, but yeah.
It's a good advice. Yes.
Yeah. But otherwise, yeah, I'm really impressed with what you have so far. You're really close, I would say, But I think if you do step one, just up the professional, the way you present it, man, that's already pretty awesome.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah. Thank you. It was very productive for me.
Yeah. So, is there anything you want to add or any more questions?
No. I already asked, but I wanted to ask. So
Cool. Nice. Then, as always, as I think I already said in LinkedIn, if you have any other questions or you need some feedback in the future, then of course feel free to reach out or here on Discord.
sure.
Or maybe once you did that upgrade of your portfolio, you can always send it over again and I can just see if there's anything missing or maybe some feedback points. So feel free to do that. And I think you're on a good path already. So it's kind of annoying of the industry, but yeah. You're already above most artists, I would say. And I say that not looking at ArtStation, because I think ArtStation is it's not really fair, because it's only the top stuff you see. What you actually should do in ArtStation, you can also look at the newest work, and then you get a more realistic view of what most people do, and then you will see that you're already above most of it. So that's what I mean with you're already doing really good. So you're close, you're close. Yeah.
Thank you.
And don't forget that show the process. Like it's cool that you show that you can make cool models, but a art lead or somebody who's hiring needs to see that you can function well in a production where they don't have to hold your hand. Because that's what I often have to deal with. And I hire somebody with cool work, and then in the end, it's like, shit, they don't know how to implement stuff in a game engine, or they don't know how to manage themselves very well. So the process is quite important to show. And with process, I don't only mean wireframes, but the bigger scope. Like, for example, with the Gladiator, why did you choose this art style? How did you come to the hand-painted look and style? What creative choices did you make? Why this sword or this shield? What were the references? And then you can also show the wireframes or the rig, or how did you do the base? and just expand that a little bit more so people can see, oh, wait a minute, not only do you have good results, but you understand game development. And if you really want to go next level, show that it works in a game engine. Like with that car, show that it's playable, that it can drive around.
Okay.
You know, it's a bit more work, but that would be the best. Nice.
Yes.
Cool. Awesome for the video.
Okay.
Thanks for this opportunity.
Yes.
And yeah, I
Yes.
wish you a lot of good luck. And you know where to find me if you need anything from me.
Thank you very much.
You too.
Bye.
Okay,
Bye.
catch you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.